My evolution as a player as a kid wasn't spectacular. At the beginning, I got beat a lot. And by the time I was 14 or 15, I was one of the better kids in the Eastern Tennis Association. By the time I was 16, I was one of the top 10 kids in the country. But when I got to college, that's when I became a really, I think, pro-level player. I understood what it took. I started to understand what it took to be a good pro player when I started to grasp the macro, the big picture. Understanding that it's about resilience, understanding that it's about long-term commitment, and it's about dealing with winning and losing. It's about dealing with good days in practice and bad days on a relatively even emotional scale. When I started to do that, I could evaluate myself fairly, and I could understand that the path to getting better was going to be one that I was going to see much more clearly if it wasn't an emotional roller coaster ride. And it took a while for me to grasp that mentally because there's a lot of winning and losing, but just understand everybody's time frame is different. Everyone's not Serena Williams. Everyone's not Roger Federer. Everyone's not Andre Agassi or Chris Evert or Pete Sampras or Novak Djokovic. We're all our own individual people with different time frames. And there's no one way that's right. Every way is a little bit different, and you'll find your way, and we here at Gold Coast Sports Academy are going to help lead you down that path to find that way that suits you. One of the most interesting questions I get is, what would you have done differently, if anything, when you were younger? One of the things that I did that I think probably hurt me was I was a little bit insecure, and I really wanted immediate results. It was hard for me to be patient. In some ways, that's a good thing. So if you're like that, you're probably a terrific competitor. But don't lose your composure about evaluating yourself. Be clear about the process. That's why good coaching and good understanding of the game is so important. One of the themes we talk about so often with our Gold Coast Sports Academy coaches is understanding the big picture, understanding that you have a clear vision of how you want to help the athlete and how that athlete is going to evolve over the long term. Not today, not in the next 5 minutes, but it's a long-term process. So I would try to reel in that insecurity, I would try to reel in that immediacy, and I'm going to look for that when I'm on the courts with you guys. I'm going to try to remind you, make sure, whether it's perfect today or imperfect today, that you're patient. Patience is a virtue, and you need it on the tennis court. It's one thing to be driven, it's one thing to want to excel, no matter what it is you're trying to excel at, but it's another thing to have some balance and to have some perspective. I love to play golf. I love to watch people that are artists and other things, and I really like to watch how people react in positions of pressure and adversity. For me, it's about character and building character and understanding how to manage adversity. So when I'm on a golf course and I miss a 3-foot putt, I have to bite my lip just like everybody else. But it's really important to have that balance and to have some outside perspective other than hitting this crazy little fuzzy tennis ball around. Because that balance will help you become, number one, a better person, a more well-rounded person. Number two, it'll help you reach your potential because of that macro vision in terms of dealing with adversity.